Welcome to Stage Door with Michael
And Davina, you've got to introduce me, and then I introduce you. We've only done this 75 times. I'm Michael.
And I'm Divina, and we're going to be meeting lots of exciting and interesting people from across the theatrical world.
Yes, we are going to stage doors to chat to our favourite theatre stars.
Yeah, we are, and we're getting all the news and gossip from them about what's happening with them, what's happening in the theatre world, how they got to where they are, and where they're going.
Yes, and today we are joined by dancer, singer, actor, cabaret in a caravan star, and yogi, Rebecca Lisewski. Woo!
Hi everyone. Hi guys.
Well,
Hello, hello,
darling,
hello.
it's so good to sit down and chat with you. We want to know everything right from the beginning, all the gossip, everything that's, it's impossible to cram it all into half an hour, but we're going to do our very best. So, where did you grow up, and who were the kind of key people in your life to introduce you to the world of performing?
So I grew up in Doncaster, South Yorkshire, and I started dancing when I was like 3 years old. I did everything. I did singing, dancing, gymnastics, swimming, and I had loads of panic attacks because I was doing so much. Started from a young age. And then when I was 16, I was ready. I was ready to just leave. I was so young though. In the 90s, this was 96. And in the 90s, there was no phones, there was nothing. I was such a young 16-year-old. But I was like, right, I'm ready. I know what I want to do. I don't want to do sixth form. I don't want to do A levels. I barely did my GCSEs. And you just know what you're going to do.
That's brilliant.
But
I
yeah,
love that.
moved to London when I was 16. I went to Lane Theatre Arts. Big up the Laneys, double headers. And then, started auditioning straight away and got my first West End show pretty much a few months after.
How did you find out about all
Wow.
that stuff then? Obviously, you said that there was no phones and anything like that. So, how did you know, right, I need to audition for Lanes? Like, what was that process then?
I've got twin cousins in the business, Mel and Jane Housley, and
Ah,
older than me. They went to Lane, and then they went into Fame pretty much straight away. They did it together. So I think I moved back to Doncaster. I got a Kylie Minogue video spinning around because it was literally, shall I do commercial or musical theatre? And I had a voice and decided I don't think I had anywhere to live. So I moved back to Doncaster for a few months, and it was my cousin Jane that I think called me and said, right, what are you doing? Get to London. There's an audition for Fame in the West End. Go. And I went, and there was like 3 auditions, and then the 4th final round, Karen Bruce was there, who was directing and choreographing it. Dame Karen Bruce, she's amazing. And she said to my cousin, I like her, that's our Serena. And Jane said to her, do you know who that is? She's like, never seen her in my life. And Jane's like, it's my cousin. And then a gorgeous, gorgeous, talented girl called Marissa Dunlop. She'd just done Pearl in Starlight. Like, she came in the audition and she got the part, and I got her first cover. And it was amazing being her first cover. She was the perfect Serena. And obviously, first cover, my first job, I was over the moon. And did that for like 2 years. Then, loved it. My
Wow.
last my last show in Fame, this is hilarious. My last show I got shin splints really bad, and we'd moved from the Cambridge to the Old Witch, and I was off for a little bit, and then I went back, but I went back too soon, and I think it was the end of Act 1. There she goes, and she a picture of her, and we bend down on our knees. So she's being lifted, and we're going, there she goes, and I couldn't stand up. So my last show in Fame, end of Act 1, I crawled off. And my name was Rebecca Lisewski.
oh my God.
Then, guys, I went straight into Starlight. So, yeah,
How did you solve the shin splint situation?
I was off. I needed to just rest them. Shin splints,
Right.
and I just iced and iced and iced and kept them up and didn't dance for a good few months. And got back, and I've never had any problems since. But
Well, you have had an incredible career in the theatre industry. What would you say? You already mentioned a couple of amazing shows there. What would you say are others of your favorites?
Starlight was probably the one show that I wanted to do. I was sat in my bedroom when I was like 10, 12 years old, just pressing that play button on a cassette, writing the lyrics down, rewinding, writing the lyrics down. That was like Starlight, Mariah Carey, Jackson 5, Michael Jackson. And so I learned the whole Starlight Express. And then I went to Germany and I had to do it in German. I had to relearn it. But that was the show where I was like, I want to play Pearl. I want to do it. And I did. I did it. Did it for 2.5 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
I feel like every
That
kid's
is,
like, this is control. I used to know the whole thing as well. I could sing it all the way through from start of the CD.
and that
Love
thing
that.
about writing down the lyrics,
Yeah.
that just absolutely was like a core memory unlocked inside of me of sitting and listening to like compilation musical theatre cassettes and then writing down the lyrics, because not all of them had the lyrics inside them. Like
Oh,
Oh,
I had the
wow.
tape for Crazy for You, and that had the lyrics inside it. So, I mean, they were so tiny that you couldn't read them, but they were so small you couldn't read any of it. But you were able to kind of, note them out. But sitting there and writing the lyrics out, because we're a similar age, aren't we?
21?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I think we are. I think we are.
I'm a kid of 83. So
I'm an
I
eight.
think, are you?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought we were so much closer. I thought you were much closer to. Well, but I mean, it's only 2 years, isn't it? 3 years.
Yeah.
It's nothing.
Yeah.
Wow. But you have done tons and tons and tons of shows. But recently, you've sort of shifted your focus a little bit. So talk to us about that.
Yeah. So 26 years I've been doing it. Like UK tours, West End shows, cruise ships, do my own show on ships, and just constant. It's been constant and it's been amazing. And I never, ever, ever thought that I would do anything else ever. I mean, musical theatre is my blood. I'm literally the stagiest kid in the
You
world.
really
So
are. Yeah.
I'm the stagiest kid here. Kerry Ellis is a close second, but
Yeah.
no, and then I did cabaret. I got offered cabaret. The story when I've just told it to my friend actually. Yeah, I was auditioning for cabaret at the Kit Kat Club in town, and I was doing SpongeBob at the time with Davina, and yeah, I went. We were in Cardiff, and it was my birthday the next day, and that night we had a party planned, and we had to buy each other clothes, and I bought Davina an outfit. I don't know if you remember this.
Yes.
That I got you this proper pink fluffy thing, and you were like, "No, Tom, I think you gave it me back." Anyway, my first audition was like 4 hours, and I got in the car from London and I drove back down the M4 to Cardiff, and I just passed Swindon. There was a massive traffic jam, and I remember stood in it, looking in my rear view mirror, and this white van coming at me at 40 miles an hour. And I don't know why I did it, but I braced like this. And although it was a massive impact, and I was off the show. I don't know if you remember this. I was off the show for about 2 or 3 weeks with whiplash. I don't know if I hadn't have done that, it'd have been so much worse. So I ended up, God knows where, on the road. But my friend Nikki Wilkes, who owns Wilkes Academy, came and sat with me at the hospital, so I had to go get checked out. And I was off SpongeBob for 2 or 3 weeks, and luckily I've done 4 hours of dance audition. So my next 3 rounds for cabaret were just singing and acting. If I'd have not had that accident, I would have, and been off the show, I wouldn't have been able to do the final for cabaret, because we were in Blackpool and it was too far. We had 2 shows. There was hardly any covers. But yeah, just fate happens. I was in a horrific car crash, but I got cabaret. And that was my last West End show, which was amazing. I'll get to you. I'll get to the answer.
You just remembered what the question was.
I do go off on one. And then I did probably the first 4 months, and then my mum passed away.
I'm
And
sorry.
really hit me hard. It really did. And I didn't take it very well at all. I still struggle now. And I was having panic attacks left, right, and centre. I couldn't get out of the house. Claire Sibley, who was my company manager, was just in Cabaret, was just incredible. The whole team, like everyone in that building, every one of the producers really looked after me. And although I didn't stay on another year, first of all, I wanted to, but I think because I wasn't reliable anymore, they couldn't kind of risk it, and I get that, but I I lost it. I lost the plot, and I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. So I gave up. Now I'm a yoga teacher. So now I teach yoga for cancer patients, anyone going through it, anyone suffering, anyone helping someone go through it, carers, all sorts. And I do it all for free. Just because I know how important it is to just give back. And me and my best friend Nicola, who owns a pub in Hitchin, her sister passed away of cancer literally a month before my mom. So we're very close. And my other best friend, her dad did as well. But me and Nicola do yoga for cancer together. I do like a nice restorative, easy chill, apart from one lady. She's like, give me twists. I'm like, come on, Sharon, that's it. She loves it. And then Nicola does the sound. So she does like a gong. No, Tibetan bowls she does. We do it for 2 hours every other Sunday, and it's amazing. And now I've qualified. I've got like 700 hours yoga teaching under my belt, and I love it. I mean, I'm absolutely, but I love it.
Well, you were doing you were working on the yoga stuff while we were doing SpongeBob, because we were. It was honestly one of my favourite weeks was in Dublin. They put us up in Dublin, and they put us into this kind of apart hotel place, didn't they? And there was a tiny little gym downstairs. And so of a morning, Bex would run a yoga class for some of us, and I would go every morning, and it was just the best thing to set the day up. Like, it was just the most perfect way to get the body and the mind and the spirit ready for the day. It just sets you up as like, now I'm centered, now I'm ready for whatever today is going to throw at me. And SpongeBob had a habit of throwing all kinds of stuff at us, didn't it?
Did. It sure did, didn't it? But I mean, I think because especially now, yeah, when I first started in the 90s, early noughties, there was no phones, no Instagram, Facebook. So we all just was like free and just like, yeah, let's have some fun. And there was Break for the Border on a Wednesday night. There was Teatro on a Thursday, Café de Paris on a Saturday. It was amazing. And now, obviously, things have changed dramatically and drastically. Like, and people need yoga. People need it. It's not about getting in a pose and doing a handstand and, doing back bends, and it's the mind. It just quietens your mind, and it just. So I teach 4-beat as well as yoga for cancer, and 4-beat yoga is a rocket inspired vinyasa practice to the beat of the music. So it's a slow, steady, between 65 and 75 BPM. So it's slow. And it's designed for everyone in the room. And I practice with my teacher in London. There's 80 people in a class on a Saturday morning, and we all get in this flow state. I know the flow state is going crazy on Instagram and TikTok at the minute and all the other things out there. But it sets you up in this flow state, and everybody's breathing at the same time. Everyone's inhaling and exhaling at the same time. And no one cares if Karen next year's giving it crow, pincher, whatever, and you're in a easiest pose. It doesn't matter. You're in this flow state together, and it's just amazing. It's called 4-beat yoga.
Well, hopefully people can check out your page, where you can also find out about your cabaret in a caravan. Now, obviously, you've got an amazingly big voice, but tell us more about that.
So cabaret in a caravan, as if you've brought that up. Got two huge caravans. I know. One's called Phyllis, who I tour. Davina, I took. Where did we go? Where were we?
Uh,
Norwich.
Norwich. Yeah.
Norwich. I always take it on tour with me, at least one venue. So that's
And it
Phyllis.
was the most unbelievably beautiful campsite as well. Like
Yeah.
just down the bottom of it was a river that looked like it was out of a picture book, you know, like a postcard. All the reeds in the river and dragonflies all over the place. And it was like, you get to the campsite and you're like, oh, it's a campsite. It's just a campsite, isn't it? And then you kind of went down this little path and suddenly it was like, yeah, it was just like out of some kind of um,
Storybook.
science fiction fantasy storybook. Yeah, you're just expecting like elves and little
Yeah, it
nymphs and sprites to pop up out of the trees. It was so beautiful.
was. Yeah. Look, I love finding little campsites, especially being on tour. I've been to some right ones. Lytham St. Anne's, that was gorgeous, although it absolutely chucked it down the whole time. Um, but my friend James Bennett came to stay, and yeah, just get anyway. So cabaret in a caravan, that's Phyllis. My little pink one, which was a white, rusty, old little Cheltenham fawn. They're one of the tiniest caravans. They're vintage. So this one was 1969. So when lockdown happened, I had two caravans in my garden. So it was a guy called Ashley Andrews. If you're stagey, you'll know who Ashley Andrews is. It's amazing. He calls me from New York. He's like, "Beck, what are you doing? Get in your caravan and sing us a song." I'd be like, so I did. So on the first day, on the Monday, lockdown, 6 o'clock, bang on, I'd get my laptop, speaker, set it up in the caravan, and I'd go live on Facebook. I missed a trick. I should have done TikTok. And I just went live, just started singing for half an hour. And I did it Monday to Friday, 6 o'clock for about half an hour for about 6 weeks. And I
I
got
love that.
from it. So the other caravan, the pink one, I decided to do her up. So it wasn't pink at the time. So I drove it when we were allowed, drove it up north, got it sprayed by my brother's mate, this gorgeous pale pink colour. And then inside, I just did like bunting and a disco ball, lights, and I do loads of little online parties. And I started gigging, working for Away Resorts, which is like a Butlins, live streaming for them, and took it to loads of festivals. And then, do you remember it was like a whole year or 2 years worth of the Queen's birthday, the Queen's Jubilee? And I must have done about 25 street parties.
Oh,
I
wow.
squeezed it in pubs, and I sold it last week. I sold it last week. I'm
Oh,
done. I've had a lovely old time. My last festival with it was a local festival called Rush Fest, and I'm going to big these guys up. George Maguire and Rachel Woodin. They're married. Rachel's playing Grisabella at Park, and George is they're just brilliant. Rachel's from Doncaster. I grew up with her cousin, and they've got this. It's called Rush Fest. They live in a gorgeous little village called Rushden in Hertfordshire, not Northampton. And I take the caravan there every year, and I that's the last time I used it. But they're there this year. Get your tickets, Rush Fest. What's that show? Sheffield show that Rachel was in.
oh, standing at the sky's edge. Yes, I think I saw her. What's her name? Is she Wood
What's it called?
standing at the sky's edge?
No, the Sky's Edge. Rachel Wooding. She's beautiful. She's amazing.
Okay, so Rachel
Yeah.
performed for the Stage Debut Awards, and I got everybody else's name right apart from hers.
She won't care. She won't care. She's the best. She
I
don't
don't know
care.
how I managed to read every, like, some of these names were really hard. You
I mean,
know.
Wooding. Hard, is it, Davina?
No, so I don't know how I managed to get it wrong. I called her like Woodhouse or Woodbury or something weird. I don't know.
but she's got all the cast from Standing at the Sky's Edge to come to Rushfest this August.
They're also doing a concert version, aren't they? There's a concert version of Standing at the Sky's Edge coming again.
I want to see that.
So
Yeah,
yeah.
that's it. It's at Rushfest.
Oh, okay, there we go. So I saw this already on Instagram this morning. All right, we're going to play a quick game. So you are absolutely one of the stagiest people I know. So I think you're going to be very good at this. All you have to do is in 30 seconds name as many musical theatre songs as you can. Okay? Musical theatre songs.
Okay, Standing at the Sky's Edge, Starlight Express, He Whistled at Me, Don't Rain on My Parade. This is Memory, Old Deuteronomy, Light at the End of the Tunnel, Skimble Shanks. Did I say Memory? Probably.
Yeah.
Cabaret, Don't Cry for Me, Argentina, I Dreamed a Dream.
Done.
11.
11.
That's not bad. We say 10 is the standard.
10 is okay.
You put me on the spot. My mind just goes blank.
I know.
Nice.
That's my favourite thing about this, is that because I cannot hold any information in my brain anymore, that the point where we put people on the spot and their brain does the same as mine is basically all the time. It makes me feel better about my life.
Well, I'm glad.
Now, I know you said you've hung up your shoes for the acting world, but is there a role that you sort of, if someone did offer you a role, you'd sort of sneak back in there?
Yeah, 100%. So, I've told Simon, agent from Leodis, that I'd go back for 2 jobs. I got offered one of them about in 2009, and it was lame. Wow. I couldn't do it. I was doing Carousel at the time, and it overlapped. And it turns out I got my 2 weeks notice from Carousel, and I would have started Les Mis on the Monday. But yeah, I had to say no. I've not been seen again, but I'd love to. I think I'm too old for Eponine now, so they offered me first cover. But Madame Thénardier.
You would be an amazing Madame Thénardier. You would be. You'd be so perfect. Yeah.
That. What was the second?
Coronation Street.
Oh wow.
Bit of Coronation Street.
What? And you know what? I want to do Dinner Lady. No, yeah, I want to do Dinner Ladies.
If they ever bring Dinner Ladies back, that'd be amazing.
It's coming.
It's coming. Is it?
Yeah, it is. It's coming.
Okay, well, we're speaking this into existence right now.
You will do it. You will do it.
All of us with the spirit finger.
If it doesn't happen now, we're all.
We know it doesn't work.
No, because I'm nearly weed.
So, have you got because you know you've done so many different shows? Have you got any backstage stories that are like really like this is my little dine out on backstage stories?
Ooh, backstage stories. I've probably got. Oh, I've got a couple, but
I think you're getting a book out there. Hang on.
Not. I don't know. Not really dramas, apart from me crawling off stage. Drama. I finished doing Starlight on tour. I did it in Germany for 1.5 years, and then I did it on the tour, the second year tour. And I'd finished the contract. On the Monday, I had an audition. Wednesday, recall. Friday, final. Friday morning, my agent, Paul Spiker, God rest his soul, messaged me, said, Starlight need you in Manchester. They need you to cover. Just to stand by, because they did a cast change, and the girl playing Pearl was really poorly, and there was no one else that knew it. So I was like, yeah, get me on the train. Couldn't find me roller skates. They were at my mum's house in Doncaster. So they got a courier, of course they were. Take one thing, Rebecca, I didn't have it. So they got a courier from Manchester to Doncaster, picked my skates up, and I got the train from London, got there on the Friday night, sat with Michael Rand, taking notes, very professional. And then near the end of Act 2, he says, Bex, you needed, come with me. Went backstage, they handed me a microphone. I was like, what's going on? They were like, she's lost her voice completely, so you're going to have to sing while she mimes. So that's what happened then. I was on for the rest of the weekend. And then I started Mamma Mia in the West End on the Monday. So that was a bit of a whirlwind. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Wow, what? Yeah, it's mad.
Oh my goodness. So you've literally done everything and you've sustained this huge long career and you're clearly so much energy and still able to do it all. Like, what's your secret then? How have you sustained your physical and vocal health throughout, doing 2 shows on the weekend, covering, traveling, Mamma Mia, boom, 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 boom?
Ain't it? I just think I am so passionate about it and I love what I do and I just give it my all. And yeah, I think just power on through. And it's only since probably November I've calmed down, although I'm still pretty hyper.
Do you have any vocal health hacks? That's hard to say. Vocal health hacks.
A good tongue twister, health hack. I do a warm up pretty much every day still. And I think just knowing my voice, obviously water. I think just knowing my voice as well and knowing when to back off, what to do with it. Like it's trained really well, and that's to do with a lot to do with obviously my singing teachers, but Starlight helped me with that. Starlight in Germany, because it was so physical, so intense, but also I had to belt the top, God knows what, top E, I think, E or F, pelting round as Pearl. And yeah, I learned a lot in that show. But yeah, warm-ups, water, drugs, all sorts. I'm joking, don't put that.
That'll be the teaser for the episode.
Yeah. I want to know this because you've managed 26 years in the theatre industry, which is notoriously competitive. It is extraordinarily hard. And, like you just told us, you went from one show here to another show here to another show here and jumping. If there was one thing in the industry that you could change, what would it be?
Right. I feel like back in the day, you worked your way up. I looked up to Hannah Waddingham. Maz Murray was in my first cast of Fame, and I looked up to her. She was she played Mabel, so it wasn't even the lead, but she led that show. And Hannah Waddingham was her best mate, and they built their way up, and that's what I wanted to do. But I must have gone through this switch because now, every time, like I've just done Cabaret, it's like the biggest show in the West End. I was a swing in that, and I was second cover Schneider. It's massive, and still no one knows who I am. I have to go back and re-audition and do your best 16 bars. I'm like, hang on a minute. I've 26 years. I've put my life into this. So now I changed that. There needs to be I don't know how, and I don't know, but that needs to change. Like, it's amazing that all these people are coming in at 19, 20. They've just graduated. They're amazing, but there has to be like I'm not no better than no one, but I am more experienced. Not only in musical theatre, singing, acting, drama, dance, but in life. And that comes across in everything you do on stage. You can switch more, as a swing, where you're going, where, you got to have eyes in the back of your head, because I've been doing it for so long, I'll know if that person behind me has gone off injured or, oh, there's a space. Kids don't these days, and they'll learn that. Don't get me wrong, they'll learn that. Probably in a year, 2 years, but the experience has to come first. And at the minute, it's just not. It's just not. And that's what I would change. I don't know how they do it. So yeah, it's quite frustrating. It really
Would
is.
would you never think about um, going into teaching in one of the conservatoires, because you have had, there aren't many people in the industry who've managed to sustain over 20 years. Most people kind of age out after about 15 years. You sort of go, I just can't physically do this anymore. But whatever it is that you've done, I some of it is going to be genetic. You just won the genetic lottery and your body is just made like that. But some of it is also that you've had this really firm training, which you've then been able to sustain and keep that technique. Would you ever think about going into that side of stuff to then help prepare some of those other people who are coming into the industry?
So I teach at Wilkes. I teach at Wilkes Academy in Swindon. I've been teaching on and off there since they started years and years and years ago. Me and Nikki went to college together. But I've only started kind of full time from September. And I teach musical theatre, acting through song, tech jazz, and I love it. And I never thought I would teach, but I just love it. I do like a yoga based warm up to start with. And then I do a yoga based cool down and just breathe in, and I just love it. And so I teach there. I also teach yoga probably about once a month, once every 6 weeks at Emile Dale, which is literally over the road from me. Which I think colleges need to have more yoga because the students just love it. There was one time I had 80 students in my class, and the class was an hour, and only one person giggled. Only one person giggled, and they're like 16, 17. If that was me, I'd be farting and all sorts like that. In it, which just makes my heart just full. This one guy, young guy at Mealdale, I was teaching yoga. We did Shavasana, and I played this music. And at the end, he came up to me and he said, "Hex, I don't know where I went. It was amazing." I was like, there's your flow state. That's what you need. That's what everybody needs. And at the beginning of the class, I'm like, nobody cares what you look like, only you. Nobody is looking at you. They're all concentrating on themselves. Please remember that. You do you. Ignore everyone else. And you should see them. It's amazing. Gives me goosebumps. So yeah, I teach at Wilkes and Emile Dale, and hopefully from September, performers.
Davina is going to sing a line from a show, and you
Yes.
have to finish the line.
Okay,
Off
you
you go,
ready?
Yep.
And the sun will rise and the moon will set.
And you learn how to settle for what you get.
Yes.
Nice. I love that. Thank you, Rebecca. Tell everyone where they can find you on social media so they can follow you and all your things.
Big up someone. Don't know where
Yeah.
this is going. I just big up a young 16-year-old called Barney Dudley, who I teach musical theatre. I teach yoga. We teach acting through song, 4 hours a week with him. And he is neurodiverse, and he is the most talented person I've ever met. Barney has just written a musical called Cruella, and it's out on Spotify. There's 3 songs on there, and I just want everyone to go look for Barney Dudley and on Instagram and Cruella and download it, because he's written all the music. He sings it all. I may make an appearance, but he's amazing. So yeah, but you can find me on Instagram, Facebook at Rebecca Lisewski, or at _yoga with Bex, or at caravan, or at no, I'm joking.
Thank you so much for your time.
Mwah. Thank you so much, Bex. See you soon.
Oh.
See you at Rush Fest.
Yeah.